How about that? We are live right now. It's a Sunday afternoon down here in Mako or wherever you are. And I just thought, let's go live and have some fun with this, right? I'm going to do something completely new and crazy on this channel. Hang on, I'm going to move my light here. I got a little too much light hitting my face. Do something completely new and crazy for this channel, you guys, and enlist you guys. We're always trying to get the message. Hey, Joe, Ammon, work fast. Good afternoon, everyone. It's afternoon down here. Gamer Boy, Maureen, Zach, everybody. Welcome. Okay, so I thought we'd just do another one of these core streams, right? I'm always trying to get the message out, and sometimes, I look at how the opposition uses media to get us deceived, right? And it's kind of crazy because they use nice words, they use good presentation to convince us that freedom is slavery. So who on here is a good songwriter? All right. Now I'm actually a pretty lousy guitar player. Full disclosure. All right. In fact, I just stringed my guitar last week and I haven't even trimmed the strings. That's what's up. All right. Now, there's lots of sucky songs in the world, and I've probably written a few of them. But my biggest problem, and I've got a couple songs we're working on. Some I'm not going to reveal today, but I was actually just thinking today, I was kind of in one of those kind of crooning, melancholy kind of moods, how you get sometimes, thinking about kind of the Danny Kaye type lyrical, and the old stuff, like all these classics, right? Now, usually I start with just some acoustic practice. And I'm trying to expand then into saying, okay, now let's pick up the pace a little bit. But I'm working on today, and I thought, well, I got a few lyrics, and I've got a concept, right? The chorus, a really great song needs a great chorus. And so we're going to work on that. And I thought, well, let's all get in together. This is a little bit of a slow pace song. And I thought, well, let's get you guys input, right? So I was working on some vocals. And you know how it is, right? If you ever write songs or poetry, or it's even the same when I do videos, something comes into your head. And once something is in your head, you're like, okay, I gotta move, right? I gotta write this down, I gotta make this happen. Hang on, I'm trying to adjust my light because I don't like that light the way it looks right now. I gotta make it happen, all right? So, let's make it happen. This is not a yodeling song, okay? This is a song to talk about our state. And I think it's important, right? Truth is more important than music, but we can maybe spread a little truth in music and get people to think about that. But ultimately, we have to stand for truth and resist. I have a lot of songs pending. I tend to not release things until they're good, okay? So this is a completely new and weird thing. I might even delete it after it's over, because this is a very strange thing to do, to try and do this live, because I risk looking like an idiot. You guys are pretty safe, but I risk looking like an idiot. Let's see here. So I add this opening line, all right? I'm gonna do it without music, and let's think about these lyrics. Okay, see if I can get it. There was a time of hope and peace, a slivered light of love and speech, and then the darkness came across. We turned our backs upon the cross. Our soldiers fell along the road at hands of soldiers, flags in tow. Okay, now, let's try and mix that in. I want you guys to think about these lyrics as we go through them, and then we're gonna do a simple chord base and try and build something. Now, remember I said it's not a very, I'm not a very good guitar player, okay? So, hang on, let me block some trolls here. We don't need them in here. And, all right, now, one thing the trolls won't succeed at, well, I'm not even gonna go there. Let's not even give them any attention. Okay, now I think we can start this with a G. You guys tell me, a lot of you on the stream here are probably way better guitar players than me, all right? And I do have another one I'm working on that's pretty cool, but I don't think I'm gonna share that one today because I'm actually getting very close on that one, all right? Here's the problem that I have. All my songs are based on very simple chords because I'm not a very good guitar player. I can yodel, I can do vocals, I can do ventriloquism, I can do harmonies, all that kind of stuff. But the guitar, the music is a little bit of a struggle for me, and so I tend to keep it really simple and then expand from there. I can barely do an F, you guys. How shameful is that? Because it's just like the fingers are always like, arr. Okay? So let's, and really we're just doing this to have some fun with it. Let me bring up the other computer. Actually, no, hang on. I will bring up the stream. I will bring up the chat on my computer. And then I can paste stuff in for you guys, all right? So bear with me. Let me go to my channel, youtube.com/GavinSime. All right. And let's just go here. I don't need to play myself, I just need to see that chat. All right, so let's take this first line, and I'm gonna drop it in. What the hey? Why am I not signed in? Oh, for heaven's sake, wrong channel. I should have done this first, but I told you this was gonna be casual, all right? It's gonna be real casual. I can guarantee you, anyone in the chats that's trolling, because it's casual and we're just having fun, I'll have plenty of time to block you. So please troll, because we're just trying to clear, this is really just a video to clear out the chat, all right? Let's see here, just kidding. Okay, now, I'm gonna move this camera over just a little bit more. All right, there we go. Let's see here. Everybody, howdy. Good Sunday to you. Okay, here's this first one. Now I'm thinking a G, and let's start with simple, because remember, I can't play very good, all right? So, hang on, let me get the lyric up here. There was a time of hope and peace, a slivered light of love and speech. Now this second one, I'm trying to get the... Okay, we got a G, a D, an A, and a D. That's a good combination. I've been liking A7 lately. There was a time of hope and peace, a slivered light, love and speech. And, okay, now we got to go to and then. Here's my next line that I'm thinking. You guys tell me, you play with this, tell me if I'm... Okay, and then the darkness came across is how I wrote that. And then the darkness came, I wrote that wrong, I wrote scare, it's came. Then the darkness came across. We turned our backs upon the cross. Now that's a little bit of a cliche thing, but I always like to give a nod to Jesus when I'm working on a song, all right? So the problem is, and then, maybe an A7 there. Okay, and then the darkness came across. No, it's not quite right. I'm a little stuck on this one in terms of the chord. So if somebody's got some ideas, all right, I'm watching that chat there. Yeah, let's try a B minor. A B minor might work there. Hang on, let me see if I can do a B minor. My B's, I struggle with my B's and my F's because you kind of got to play Twister with your fingers. Let's see, B minor looks really, really hard, okay? And yeah, I mean, I found that you can usually write a song with very few chords and then you can complicate it later if you want. I don't know, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I'm an activist, not a rock star. I don't know if I can really do that B minor. The problem I have with the B minor is you have to stretch your freaking fingers so far. I don't really have that many fingers. I don't, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes all 5 fingers, which means I have to use like my thumb. I guess you do a bar back here. A D minor, I can do a D minor all day long, but I don't think a D minor works there. Let's do a D minor. Now, see, I love minor chords, but the problem is when I'm playing those open chords, see, let's listen to this again. There was a time of hope and peace, a slivered light of love and speech, and then the dark. See, now we're stopped. Okay, we could go to an A7, and then the darkness. No, it's not quite right. A D minor is off. And then the darkness. No, see, the D minor, it's too much, it's too discordant. You go from the regular to the minor, and unless I change the vocal itself, nice, Sally. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the minor chords. But not quite working. So we've got G, D, G, love and speech, back to D, okay? What's a good progression here? There was a time of hope and peace, a slivered light of love and speech. And then the darkness came across. Okay, we got to kind of lead into that. And then the darkness came. We could change the tenor, the speed, the tempo. I usually start slow, right? Because again, I got to play easy. I'm focusing on the vocal and trying to get a backing, and then I speed it up, like on the other song I'm working on that I'm not telling you guys about yet. Okay. And yeah, I did see that. Video James Freeman did over in Morro Bay. Shout out to them. Good stuff. Okay, so, and thanks, I didn't get a haircut. I don't want to look like a crazy musician, right? Because I'm really not. I'm more of an activist and a filmmaker. But storytelling, filmmaking, video, music goes so well with all this stuff, which is why I've been trying to improve. And the good songs are all restricted, right? You can't use them. So we have to start making our own. Okay, let me paste this in here. I'm going to paste it in what I got so far. Here's my whole lyrical right now. And it won't let me do it all in one comment. Hang on, I'll break it into two. Okay, so here's the first couple lines. Don't even have a chorus yet. Haven't even started on the chorus yet. I like a little rhyme, but I'm not one of those kind of guys that wants to make one of those, cheesy, like modern poppy Christian songs that's ridiculous, or any ridiculous song for matter. The Souls of Blue Isis. You know what I find? Somebody tell me that's a songwriter. I find that when I'm doing videos, right, I'm specific and I name names. It seems to me that the best songs, I've been listening to me and Bobby McGee lately. That always, because I love that kind of, where you can kind of mix up and you can do sounds with it and kind of, just do filler sounds and stuff like that, because I'm more of a vocalist than a musician. So, but to me, your best songs tend to be, I call it, I don't know what the word for this is in the music world. I just call it kind of the being vague, right? You be a little bit vague. Not that you don't have a strong message, but if you get too specific, it's almost like it gets cheesy and it doesn't relate to the listener quite as much. And it seems to me that maybe a little bit of mixing it up, right? So, and if you say it, but don't say too much. Don't give too much information in the song. Like, on the day we crossed the line, 1,000 miles of open road, looking in my rearview mirror for red and blue. See, like that. And so I feel like if we get a little rhyme, and I know there's a ton of schools of thought on this, and probably most of them disagree with me because, well, welcome to my world. But, man, this light is so stinking bright. It's driving me crazy, guys. Sorry, but I can't stand this light being over the top on my, whatever. Okay, put my glasses back on. All right, so if I can't get any input, we'll just stop and I'll keep tinkering with this. But I pasted it in there. I just thought maybe somebody has some ideas. Yeah, a little bit of folky is good. And I can kind of play it, not very well, but kind of. I mean, okay. Here's what I got to work with: G, C, E minor, E, A minor, D sharp, D, D minor, G7, A7. That was a terrible A7. There's an A7. All right. A is okay. My fat fingers don't like the A very well. Okay? Yeah, don't say too much, but just enough. I do have a capo. Capos are nice, but I generally play open when I'm messing around. And I could do... I love the folkiness, right? That other one I'm working on, that was just the first line of it. That one's almost done, and it is pretty folky. On the day we crossed the line, 1,000 miles of open road, looking in my rearview mirror for red and blue. But I just like it open better, to be honest, for that one. Okay, well, let's try and stay on task with this one. There was a time of hope and peace, a slivered light of love and speech. Oh man, the trolls are not good. It's not gonna work. Here's the thing. I'm not here to brag, all right? I'm not a very good guitar player. What I do know is I can do vocals. And so it's really funny when the trolls get in here and I'm yodeling or singing or something like that. And they're like, oh, it's so terrible, right? And it's like, we have trolls in here that not only hate freedom and so they hate me, but they're jealous because maybe they can't sing. I don't know. And so they just have to try and cut it down. But it's really not going to work, guys. Because my problem is not that I can't work the vocal and that my voice is so terrible. It's just finding the right combination. And sometimes I'll come up with a song and it'll never go anywhere because I won't quite get... Oh, there's my lady. Hi, Sandra. That's my baby. And it's a struggle for me because I can come up with lyrics, but I'm always looking. See, I'm a marketing guy at heart, right? So I'm looking at the marketing. Does this have the right? Is it going to have that effect? Does it have that emotional connection? Is the chorus memorable? Is the chorus going to be singable? What kind of pep can we get out of it? How does it make people feel? The marketing aspects is kind of what I'm thinking of in terms of how can we get our message out with that. All right. So there was a time of hope and peace, a slivered light of love and speech. Then the dark. Now we could go to an A7 there, and then the darkness came across. We turned our backs upon the cross. Nope, not a G there. Upon the cross. We could just go back and forth. It's a little off, maybe. I could take this to the bathroom because the reverb is amazing in there. All right. So, but we're gonna try and. Okay, let's see here. Okay, listen to this. Let me show you. I'll show you, Dwayne. I don't know if I'll get signal in the bathroom. I might lose you for a second. Look at this. It's a reverb chamber, I'm telling you what, because everything's concrete here, right? I yodeled in here a few weeks ago. Okay, listen to this. Listen to this. There was a time of hope and peace, a slivered light of love and speech, and then the darkness came across. We turned our backs upon the cross. Our soldiers fell along the road, at hands of soldiers, flags in tow. All right, so here we go. Back out of the echo chamber, because echo chamber, we can add a reverb anytime, right? We can cheat, okay? Thanks, guys. But what we need is a little bit of music to put... Oh man, the trolls are just crazy here today. They really can't stand it. They're going to be mocking me just for doing this. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Not here for them. Okay. Let's see. There was a time. Oh, gotta start with a G. There was a time. I'm gonna do it slow, but as we go, we'll pick it up a little bit, all right? Once I get it down, but maybe not today. There was a time of hope and peace. A slivered light of love and speech. Now, I'm not even getting it. Now I'm off. You know how when you're singing it? When you're singing it and you got it and then you don't got it? It drives you crazy. Okay? Happy birthday to your brother, Nick. I'm not a very good happy birthday singer, but happy birthday. We could do folksy, though. Let's just do folksy happy birthday. Nick, happy birthday to Nick. Happy birthday to Nick and all of you people out there who have birthdays today. There. That's the ultimate happy birthday song that's not a happy birthday song. All right? So, I don't know, maybe I'm not quite dialed in on this one. I thought we'd just go live and play around, but I'll work on this one, okay? I'm going to work on this one. I'll save it. Sometimes, to be honest, I got songs that I've started ages ago, and they're so close. I do have this one, though. I do have this one, and I will play with that and dial it in. You guys tell me. Let me play you the opener of this one. Okay? And I'm actually feeling pretty good about this one. Tell me what you think. On the day we crossed the line, 1,000 miles of open road, looking in my rearview mirror for red and blue, with my baby riding shotgun and the baby sound asleep. Well, there was only so much they could sing the blues. 'Cause it's risky when you move, and it's risky standing still. You gotta find a little faith and make the call. 'Cause the day will come to choose, and there's a place where you will lose. You gotta know the time to stand and sing the blues. Freedom isn't lying down, you gotta cross the line. You gotta lift a hand for those in need. And brother, courage isn't sitting around to say it's good enough for me. No, you gotta cross the line. When we left that shoulder behind, and it was just like driving blind, but my baby kept me warm beneath the stars. Me, hermano, he was waiting as those stars and stripes were fading. 'Cause the freedom was worth more than cash and cars. With the niños in the backseat, we could barely tow the load, and we never knew the narrows down the road. But the day will come to choose, avoid the place where you will lose. You gotta know the time to stand and sing the blues. Okay, that is, I'm burying that one in this video because it's not actually supposed to be public. So only those of you who watched it for like 25, right? So you guys tell me what you think of that. There's more lyrics to that. That's kind of the chorus and the core. Let's do that chorus again. Tell me what you think, since we weren't really getting anywhere with the first one. Now I'm working on my brother with this. My brother's actually a drummer, and we're going to try and pick this one up, and I want to really be able to have some fun with that. Let's go back to the beginning on that. What do they call this? I don't know the musical terms, all right? What do they call it when you can kind of do the vocals, right? No, 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 you gotta cross the line. Okay, here we go. trying to change on the day we cross the line. 1,000 miles of open road. I was looking in my rearview mirror for red and blue, with my baby riding shotgun and the baby sound asleep. Well, there was only so much we could sing the blues, 'cause it's risky when you move, and it's risky standing still. You gotta find a little faith and make the call, 'cause the time will come to choose. Avoid the place where you will lose. You gotta know the time to stand and sing the blues. Freedom isn't lying down. You gotta cross the line. Well, you gotta lift a voice for those in need. And courage isn't sitting around to say it's good enough for me. No, 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 you gotta cross the line. Okay, so it's very hard for me. I don't play and sing like in front of people at the same time because I can't focus well enough. I'm not good enough on a guitar to do that, but that's okay. The feel of this one is good. I'm tweaking with the chorus a little bit on this one, and I'm going to work with it because I want that chorus to really kind of stick, right? And so the title of this one is Crossing the Line. So I thought we'd take a little bit on this one. It's a little bit folksy. I want to pick it up a little bit, but I thought maybe a little bit of inspiration from some of the classics from the 70s, right? And crossing the line, crossing the line, crossing the line again. And I thought we'd do some mix-up vocals, whatever you call those. Somebody tell me. I keep thinking in my head, guys, there's got to be terms for all this stuff, right? There's got to be terms for when you can do like the fillers. And you know how when you hear a song and it's getting good and you can just kind of bebop with it and you can throw in the filler words and it just works, right? Just works, all right? There's got to be a word for that. Filler works, I don't know what they call that. I call it like the vibe, right? You get the feeling for it. And then it becomes, you have your bass, right? You have your bass lyrics, you have your bass music, but once you get the feeling for it, you just go for it. And you don't actually need any of the other stuff, all right? And so, I don't know. Just gonna work with it. And no, it's not ripping off anybody. Yeah, I love Me and Bobby McGee. That's a cool one. In the creative world, I've been an artist for like 20 years. Being inspired by something and then using that feel to try and get something of your own out of it is not ripping off. That's how we be creative. How we be creative in photography. It's how we be creative in video. The goal is not to copy someone. It's to try and say, okay, this works. What can I do with it? And there's always somebody out there that's going to be like negative and trying to beat you down in your YouTube videos or your videos or your photography or your music or whatever, and certainly respect other people's work, all right? But it's anything that can kind of get you flowing, get you inspired. And I'm always trying to get you guys to talk. Thanks, guys. I'm always trying to get you guys to talk and make videos like I do, right? And there's more of you doing it, more and more, and just to speak and not to be afraid to speak. See, for me, it makes me nervous to pick up a guitar and play because I'm a terrible guitar player, right? I don't have good experience playing a guitar. So trying to play a guitar while singing my lyrics that may or may not even be that great is a struggle, but talking on videos is easy, right? When somebody goes out and they say, well, I saw Gavin's videos and I'm going to go out and I'm going to challenge a cop on video and I'm going to use a similar style. I don't feel ripped off. I feel like I've succeeded, right? The message was heard and somebody's doing it. But yeah, I recognize that guitar is not my strength here. So this isn't a guitar lesson. This is more a little bit of marketing talk, and it's crazy. I just wish that we could communicate better. And so I'm wondering, I'm just examining, right? At the end of the day, God help us. Like, we're going to have some divine intervention if we're ever going to find any sort of semblance of freedom again. And I just see them as a marketer, you know, this is like super casual, but I see, did you guys know that in my business, thanks White Mage, did you guys know that in my business, and my business isn't this channel, right? I mean, I'm gradually expanding channels. I'm working on my other channel. We're going to do adventure travels and stuff like that. But my business is in my photography, you know, Sime Effects, Sime Studio, stuff like that. I make software, I do workshops, I teach, all that kind of stuff. We spend, because we live or die if the market, you can't spend that kind of money if it's not working, okay? And a message is always a message. I think this is one of the ways that I was blessed in getting into photography is it's storytelling, right? When I was 12, I got into photography and I got into that storytelling and being able to simplify. In a great photograph, you have to simplify a message because you have one frame. So sure, a photo is worth 1,000 words, but you have one frame to do it in. And if you don't do it right, you don't convey a message. I think the same, and then that extended into making videos. That extended into activism. And defending human rights. It extends into making music. And really, if I'm writing a song, it's usually about how I'm feeling, right? I'm trying to find a way to get out how crazy the world it is and get people thinking about that, because some people aren't just willing to sit and chat like we're doing here right now. I mean, there's only 61 of you in here. This is like the core group of you that just want to sit and chat, right? This video is not going to get any number of views. It actually degrades my channel. Moto, thanks, man. It actually degrades my channel in a marketing sense, to have videos like this that don't get hardly any views and where we're just chatting, but it's okay sometimes. So how can we take, right, whatever your skill is, but I can't emphasize enough, whether you're writing, whether you're doing photos or video or making songs, the message of marketing, do you know that the core of marketing, and this is coming from someone who spends a lot on advertising and marketing research for our products. And the late Ken Whitmire taught me something very important about marketing that I think of to this day, including in the messages on here, including when I'm doing my activism. I've told you guys this a lot of time. The core of marketing is to show people that it is being done by others and that it's okay to do so. Let that sink in. This is genius. And Ken had some amazing marketing classes, and I spent a lot of time with him. He was a photographer, a portrait photographer, and so I realized that it's all the same. It doesn't matter what you're building. The marketing is the same. And that's when we shame the police for their terrorism, when we shame Blue ISIS, we're showing people it's okay to resist. It's okay to stand up. When we refuse to be violent, when we stand for peace and we speak out against the lynch mob, we show people that it's okay to stand against the lynch mob, right? You show people that it's okay to do so and that it's being done by others. That's what you do. All right, let's check this again. Let me try this one more time. Since we kind of transitioned to working on this song, because frankly, I'm a lot further along on this one. On the day we crossed the line, 1,000 miles of open road, looking in my rearview mirror for red and blue. With my baby riding shotgun and the Nino sound asleep. Well, there was only so much they could sing the blues. 'Cause it's risky when you move, and it's risky standing still. You gotta find a little faith and make it whole. 'Cause the day you'll come to choose, there's a place where you will lose. You gotta know the time to stand and sing the blues. freedom isn't lying down. You gotta cross the line. You gotta lift a hand for those in need. And courage isn't sitting around to say it's good enough for me. No, 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 you gotta cross the line. When we left that shore behind, and it was just like driving blind, but my baby kept me warm beneath the stars. Mi hermano, he was waiting as those stars and stripes were fading, 'cause the freedom was worth more than cash and car. With the niños in the backseat, we could barely tow the load. And well, we never do the narrows down the road. I tell you, the day will come to choose. Avoid the place where you will lose. You gotta know the time to stand and sing the blues. You gotta know the time to stand and you gotta know the time to stand and you gotta cross the line and stand and sing the blues. There we go. We're getting on that one. I think we're getting there on that one. All is one. Thank you so much. So I think this one's. I think I'm onto something with this one actually. My brother's working on me a little bit. We're gonna try and pick up the beat a little, and get it going. I mean, sure, it definitely has an influence of kind of that. I don't even know what they call it. I guess it'd be kind of 70s folksy rockabilly, maybe. I don't even know what you call that. It doesn't really matter that much what you call it as long as it sounds good. But I've actually got quite a few more lyrics for this. I'm not going to put them all out there yet. Don't steal this one, okay? I really like one. Freedom's just another word. That's a good one too. It's funny when you listen to a song that's really kind of has that catchy vibe. It's hard. Thanks, White Mage. It's hard to not just like use the same lyric and do the same thing. People are gonna. Some of you keep mentioning Bobby McGee, and I do enjoy Bobby McGee. I've been listening to it lately. The music in this is completely different than Bobby McGee, and so are the lyrics, and so is the entire tenor of the song. But it definitely has that era. I mean, I've heard that recently and thinking, man, this is a good sound. How can we like do kind of that sound? And I think also here's another thing. It's not just Bobby McGee in Mako. The 70s music is still what they're playing. All right, so I've been hearing it a lot, kind of that 70s, 80s. I mean, if you go to Mako City, if you go to Ciudad Mako, there's still posters for disco all over the telephone poles. All right, I mean, they're still in the 70s here, guys, and literally like there's 70s music, 70s USA classic rock, right, playing in the grocery stores. So, and I'm not into all the 70s songs. There's certain good ones, but there's definitely, you're probably hearing a little bit of 70s influence in the stuff that I'm playing with here because that's what's going on, right? If you're in the stores, you're hearing me and Bobby McGee and you're hearing Creedence on the loudspeaker at the grocery store. All right? Hey guys, I see you all in there. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of this new music is pretty cruddy. I like a good beat as much as the next guy, but I feel like a good song should be able to hold its own with good lyrics, good vocals, and an acoustic. And if it does that, then you can expand it, right? If you go to some of the earlier versions, for example, of me and Bobby McGee, they sound nothing like Janis Joplin's. So they kind of pepped it up and gave it some energy, right? But at the same time, if you have a good bass, you have a good bass to start with, I think, and look, take it for what it's worth. I'm a marketer and an activist. I'm really not a songwriter, okay? So I think, should we do it one more? Do people? My voice is kind of getting tired, to be honest, because this one I'm kind of, and everybody seems to like this one more or less, except the trolls. So I'm gonna keep working on this one. I don't really, I'm not that great of a guitar player anyhow. So I don't do a lot of playing, and particularly other people's songs, because if you play other, that's why I'm trying to write some of my own, so we can get some themes and build some themes and expand the channel, because you can't use other people's songs. I buy royalty-free songs for my music and stuff, but they're just backing tracks. They're not really songs most of the time. You can't use the classics because they're all restricted. You'll get copyright flagged. Let's see if we can change. We could capo it, but I don't think this needs to be capoed. I played with this quite a bit, and the capo I don't think is necessary. Hang on, I'm gonna get a drink of water. We'll run through this one more time. You notice I didn't start the video with this song because I want it buried away. I will probably, once we figure this out, I'll probably do a full-on video with this one, and we'll get my brother working with me. We'll do some drum tracks. That'll be my brother Neil, not Nathan. My fingers are also getting tired. My calluses are a little weak these days because I don't get a lot of time to play, okay? These things keep rattling. I really should trim them off, but I had to leave so much crap at home, you guys, when I escaped, right? And I didn't grab everything. I don't have my trimmers. I can just use wire cutters, but I need to go to the music store and get the trimmers. I don't have my 12-string. I don't have whatever. I love my 12-string. It's harder to play, but it sounds so gorgeous, okay? On the day we crossed the line, 1,000 miles of open road, looking in my rearview mirror for red and blue. With my baby riding shotgun and the baby sound asleep. Well, there was only so much they could sing the blues. Hang on, I screwed it up. Let's try it again. This is the last time because I got stuff to do and my fingers and my voice are getting tired right now. I'd love to do a little more tenor and falsetto in this, and I'm going to play with that and see if we can mix it up a little bit. I've even thought about a little yodel in there, but it doesn't, I don't know. This is a serious song. There's a bunch more lyrics to this, and this song actually, in a kind of general sense that I hope people can relate to in their own life, but this kind of tells the whole story of us leaving the USA. On the day we crossed the line, 1,000 miles of open road, looking in my rearview mirror for red and blue. With my lady riding shotgun and the baby sound asleep. Well, there was always so much they could sing the blues. 'Cause it's risky when you move, and it's risky standing still. You gotta find a little faith and make the call. 'Cause the day will come to choose, and there's a place where you will lose. You gotta know the time to stand and sing the blues. Freedom isn't lying down, you gotta cross the line. You gotta lift a hand for those in need. And courage isn't sitting around and saying it's good enough for me. No, you gotta cross the line. When we left that shore behind, and it was just like driving blind, and my baby kept me warm beneath the stars. Me and Mono, he was waiting, as those stars and stripes were fading. 'Cause the freedom was worth more than cash and cars. With the niños in the backseat, we could barely tow the load, and you never know the narrows down the road. But the day will come to choose for that place we will lose. You gotta know the time to stand and sing the blues. You gotta know the time of the blues. Okay, my fingers are tired and I'm playing I'm a terrible player, but I'm even worse than a terrible player once my fingers start bleeding. Okay, I'll work on this one, all right? If you guys seem to like this one, thank you for the input. I will tinker with this one some more. And thank you. We'll work with that. I'm gonna pick up an electric down here. Not hardcore rock electric, but I think this actually would work pretty good with electric, maybe a little bass. Acoustic's good too. Acoustic, I'm building the foundation tracks in acoustic. But I think a little bit of drums. Yeah, my brother's working on some drums on this one. And maybe what I'll do is we'll do a vlog, right? Once we get it, we'll get all the tracks and we'll do a music video. Because it's not like we don't have tons of footage of escaping to the USA. So maybe we can do a full-on music video of my family escaping to the USA to this song. Who knows, right? We're ramping up our production over here. So we're trying to pick up the game. I will see what happens on this. And we'll see if I even leave this up. Thank you guys for being in here. I'm not in Sinaloa. I have been through Sinaloa. I've camped in my RV in Sinaloa. I've been to Tamaulipas Pass. And I've been to most of the places that the U.S. government says are horrible. And if you go there, you will surely die. And there's some problems in those places. But in reality, it's the USA where the police murder you on the side of the road. So the trolls are just really crazy today. Isn't it weird how the trolls can't stand it that we have a simple, truthful message, and they also can't stand it that we're enjoying ourselves, right? Thank you, guys. So I think whatever our message is, right? Whether you make music or write, or you thank you, whether you make photos or videos, I've learned, and my brother and I write together. We even write some fiction together, and we haven't had much time to do that in the past couple of years because it's been crazy. But as these trolls make accounts faster than we can ban them, it's really come to bear that simple messages of loving our neighbor, of standing up, of speaking the truth, of calling out Blue ISIS as the criminals they are, of loving them enough to tell them that truth. These simple messages they resonate to a degree, right? They resonate with our hearts a little bit. And the opposition is flipping out because it's a real narrative. It's a narrative of true liberty, not the fake faction-based liberty. And if we can get that out there, it's like the hashtag Blue ISIS to oppose our universally corrupt police that are killing more people than all other terrorist organizations combined in the USA. It's a strong message because it's simple. It's simple. And so I think we need to find out any method we can to get the message out there on whatever platform we have. Yes, DTube is still there. It's kind of buggy and glitchy, but I am still posting stuff there and on my Steemit account, Steemit/Gavin Syme. So follow me over there. If you guys aren't on Steemit, check it out. What I like about Steemit, it's kind of a cryptocurrency-based system, but also, and so you can get your own revenue from your content, but it's also, at this point, it can't really be touched, right? On YouTube, on Facebook, they're always taking our stuff down if they don't like it. And we need a platform where they can't touch it because the government is going to get more and more aggressive as we go along. Excuse me, look what I found. I went to Costco yesterday, okay, in Querétaro, Mexico, and they had these little Madeleines, and I love these Madeleines. I kind of went hog. You know what I found, though, guys? I got to tell you. There needs to be a song about cheese. If I'm writing a song, it's usually about something serious, but there should be a song about cheese because cheddar cheese is amazing, and it's not common here. So since I have left home, other than what I took with me, basically, I've had no aged cheddar cheese since I left the USA. All right. Oh, Saunders bringing some. Here, just bring it in here. Just kind of lean down there. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Anyways, this is one of the best cheeses. If you're in the States, you can get this cheese. Wisconsin has great cheeses, but Oregon's Tillamook is phenomenal, and they do a lot of aged cheddars. This is the 2-year Tillamook, and it's a phenomenal cheese. You know, you can get, I've had, for example, before I left, I had been saving it, and on the day before I left the USA, I got together and kind of said goodbye to my family. And we broke open this wheel of cheese that I had bought at the Tillamook factory. And it was about 7 years old. It had been sitting in the fridge. It was a 7-year-old cheddar. It was absolutely incredible, but it was also kind of ridiculously old. This 2-year Tillamook, I found it at Costco. I bought like 6 bricks of this for me and my brother. Sandra Zahadi, yeah, I know, thank you. For me and my brother, because it's just amazing. But look, what I'm saying is, count your blessings, all right? Enjoy the fact that you have cheddar cheese. I found cheddar cheese here after months, right? Aged cheddar cheese. And you can get mild cheddar cheese like at Walmart's and some of the quesadillas. There's lots of cheese. Amazing cheese. This camera is still driving me nuts. It's been terrible picture quality the whole time. The whole freaking time. I mean, what am I supposed to do about this? But, all right, are we good? I think I've played music enough. I will catch enough flack for this. And the trolls will be stealing this video and they'll be copying it and they'll be putting it on their channels and mocking me. But don't ever let your stand be defined by what people that don't like you say, right? Don't let your courage be defined by cowards who think that courage is submission. And I've been saying this a lot lately because I've seen the dark side ever since we left the USA. Oh, Gavin's a coward. Like Gavin didn't submit to the bully and let them kick him in the head. He must be a coward. And I'm like, wait, what? Doesn't even make any sense. So there's a lot of trolls. The reason the trolls are going crazy against me, against Kelly Stewart, John Lamb, maybe against you, when their trolls are going crazy, it's because there's a message that's resonating and it has truth and it's a simple truth. You don't see the trolls going crazy very often against the over-the-top conspiracy, sovereign citizen, the just carrying on about verbiage, about use these magic words in court and get a free cookie kind of stuff. You don't see that too much because it's not a threat to them. Okay, it doesn't resonate with people because it's confusion, and the power of truth is terrifying to the enemies of freedom. All right, so don't let them get to you on doing that. Be honorable. I'm not saying you never have your conscience checked, right? If you're walking down the wrong road, and that's why I look to Jesus for that. But you got to have your conscience. You got to be able to have your honor. But it's kind of, at the end of the day, it's between you and God. But you also got to measure yourself against liberty, because as soon as you cross the line, as soon as you're hurting another person's rights, it's like the person that claims they're a patriot, but they're saying we should abuse the immigrant because they don't have magic papers, even though the Constitution forbids immigration restriction, and it's completely irrational to say someone needs papers to travel. It's a right to travel. And so there's this dissonance, right? You guys want to know what triple cognitive dissonance is? Triple cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance is like kind of believing in two things that are not working, that are impossible to work with each other. So triple cognitive dissonance would be a person who says they believe in the Constitution. Triple cognitive dissonance is saying, I support the Constitution, I support Donald Trump, I support Jesus, and I support deportations. That's triple cognitive dissonance, because all three of those things conflicted with the Constitution, with Jesus, with loving your neighbor. Thanks, Boomer. And so there's this huge conflict, right? There's this huge conflict, and people are saying, I believe in both things, in two things that are completely opposite. I support the police and I follow Jesus. Well, wait a minute. If you support the police, who are universally abusing their fellow man, extorting, robbing, kidnapping, they're literally like the evil darkness in our nation, Blue ISIS. I support the police, but I love and support and follow Jesus. That's not even rational, right? I support Donald Trump, but I also support the Constitution. That's not rational. Donald Trump is heading the game to violate the Constitution, to abuse the immigrant, to take away people's guns, to put patriots in prison, right? He's at the top. And so all this stuff, all this cognitive dissonance, and you're going to see people start freaking out in these very chat comments. And this is why I keep bringing this up. We have to face our cognitive dissonance. You cannot support the tyrant. You can't worship the tyrant. You can't back the tyrant and also back freedom. You have to oppose the tyrant. It doesn't matter if you thought the tyrant would be good. It doesn't matter if the tyrant's one of your friends or buddies, or he's been the chief for a long time. It doesn't matter if you voted for the tyrant. The tyrant is the tyrant. The reason we have a message that resonates is because it's not a message of hating police. I want the police to change and quit their jobs and join us, right? I want the police to become good people, because I think many of the police, some of them were just evil bullies, but I think some of them actually did become police initially because they wanted to do good. But right around the time of basic training, they were so easily manipulated and molded that they just were trained to be terrorists, and that's how they became. So keep that message simple. Simple messages are why people are offended. If you go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/callmegav, you'll see this, and I'm posting a lot of these thoughts that I have about how crazy. Think about how crazy, if you really want to get down to it. I'm working on a deep article about immigration history and what the founders said, and the fact that it's all these immigration restrictions are recently created narratives that are made up. And so you got this whole swath of the conservative, patriot, Christian right? And they're neither conservative nor are they patriots, and for the most part, they're not even Christians because they oppose the principles of all those things. And they're saying, abuse the immigrant. I'm glad he got thrown out. He's lived here for 40 years. He should have played our game. And what they're really saying is, my people are tyrants. I submit to tyranny, so therefore other people should also submit to tyranny too. No one should have to be documented. No one should have to have a license or a permit to live or work or travel. This is all BS, So anyways, and yeah, guys, Joe, I did see James Freeman's video. I am subbed to James Freeman, and I'm kind of following along. I don't know everything they're doing yet, but I did hear them chatting in their live stream the other day about my work, and I really did appreciate them. So shout out to James Freeman. And, if we can get away from faction and get to this message, right? Get to this message of just loving our neighbor and speaking the truth. As soon as you're in faction, I'm Threeper, I'm Patriot, I'm Republican, I'm Democrat, I'm Libertarian. As soon as you're in faction, you're already sliding down the slope of failure. Okay, is that a saying? Can I say that? Yeah. As soon as your fight is faction, you're already sliding down the slope of failure and tyranny. All right? So just remember that. Be factionless. There's a lot of movies. What's that movie about being factionless? There's a book. Divergent? Oh, Divergent. They're factionless and Divergent, which I thought was an interesting parallel. I kind of enjoyed those books. And even though they're kind of, I guess you could say they're teenager books, but sometimes those are the best fiction. And there was that factionless element. The factionless were being hunted down, right? They were the unpredictable element that was dangerous, and so they had to be eradicated. That's how they treat people like me. That's how they treat people like Adam Kokesh, right? So don't be afraid to call each other out. We have to admonish each other. Don't be afraid to stand up and say the truth. Don't be afraid to lose followers. People are saying, Gavin's losing followers. And I gain more than I lose, but I never started this saying I need to get followers, all right? Larkin Rose, factionless. Don't promote violating other people, all right? And it's hard. Yeah, it is hard, your family will hate you. I'm blessed. Most of my family is very supportive, but your family, your friends, I have to say, in photography, in my business, I was, what's the word? I was up and coming, right? And I have a good business. I'm well known in my photography world because I make good products. But I was kind of like, it's Gavin Syme, right? I was growing in the community, in the world of photography. And pretty much all my friends from, 7-8 years ago, they've all abandoned me, right? Because they weren't really my friends. They as soon as it got tough, as soon as the truth started offending people and they thought that might cost them something, they couldn't deal with the truth because it conflicted with their bias, they were down the road. So I don't think there's really, other than my own family, there's really not one friend that hasn't abandoned me since I started standing up, all right? Now, that's not to say I don't have friends, because I've made new friends, right? There's you guys that are supportive. There's my family who's always been supportive, which is something some people don't have, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm very blessed for that. My parents, my brothers, my sisters, my wife, sister-in-laws, all that kind of stuff. So my immediate family is very supportive. But other than that, pretty much everyone abandoned. And I've made new friends, Kelly Stewart, John Lamb. But it's like even them, we're always being gnashed at by the wolves, right? And they're experiencing, and if you're standing up, you're experiencing the same thing. If you become factionless, you get to the point where you're singing the song alone and you don't have a drummer a lot of times. And that's what I'm doing here. Not always so great on my little acoustic, all right? But it's cool. So, and sometimes we just need good messages. I like making a living on and getting, eating as much as the next guy. But it's like Blue Isis, right? the term blue ISIS, I wouldn't want to copyright that because I want everyone to use that, right? I also want you to go to bit.ly/Blue ISIS 2 and buy some Blue ISIS merch from this channel, right? Because I made the cool graphic and it's an awesome. I want to see you guys out there doing selfies on the street in front of a cop. I will give a super shout out, right, to the first person that takes a Blue ISIS shirt and goes and stands in front of cops and does a selfie with their Blue ISIS shirt. Okay, I don't know what else I can offer you. I mean, I'm an outcast from my country, but I will give you a super shout out. You send me a photo of it and I'll feature it on this channel of you standing in front of cops. Please don't be like, you don't have to be rude. You don't have to flip them off or anything like that. Just like stand in front of a group of cops wearing your Blue ISIS shirt and have someone take a photo. That would be an amazing message to start sending, all right? So speak out. We need to do the same with the immigration thing. It's time to start shaming anyone who's supporting the Border Patrol because they are Blue ISIS. It's no different. It's time to start shaming people who are okay with people who've harmed no one, being deported, having their families divided and separated, having their property stolen and their lives torn apart because they don't have a piece of paper that the government has absolutely zero authority. And people say, oh, we have a right to lock our doors. And it's like, you have a right to lock your door, but your country and everyone else's free travel is not your front door. You have zero right to prevent people, individual human beings, from traveling. If someone's trying to hurt your community, you have a right to act and intervene, and there's a crime. Until then, you don't. And so stop letting people pretend that they're constitutional, that they're patriotic, or that they're freedom-loving if they support deportations, if they support immigrants being abused. We're all human beings, you guys. And so as the U.S. police, the Border Patrol, the CPS agencies, yeah, they steal our wives and our brothers and our sisters. They take our children out of our mother's arms. It's just nuts, and there's no law. There's a video on here. I mention this a lot. It's not a crazy, like, fancy production video, but there's a live stream me and my brother Nathan did about getting out of the States. Talks about the logistics, the rules, how it is pretty simple to get over into Mako. And if you're facing that, don't walk into a gas chamber, I can tell you this, in Mako, if you have an income of, $1,200 a month, people retire here on $1,200 a month, all right? So love freedom, love your neighbor, and just know when to get out because that time is coming. And guys, I get messages all the time. All I can help is tell you the truth. You have to be willing to walk away. You have to be willing to say no more. You can't live in a society of fakery, of lies, and have freedom. You can't. You can't stay in the USA and have freedom. Now, you can stand up, you can resist for a time, you can be a voice like I did for years, and eventually you're probably going to have to leave. The USA is going down. If you wait, they will be stealing your children, they will be murdering your family members, and I'm sorry. I wish there was a way that I could provide a solution, but we're past the point. The Patriots didn't stand up. They're not going to keep their guns from being taken away. The so-called Patriot 3% conservative worships the very police officers and Gestapo who will be kicking in your door and taking your guns. All right? So my advice, honestly, and Johnny and other people, you're welcome to email me. If you go to my website, callmegav.com, my email address is on there. You're certainly welcome to send us an email. But I already can tell you what my advice is going to be. You make a video, you name names, you expose people. And CPS are backed by Blue ISIS, and they will steal your children and destroy your family. And all I can say is get away from them while you can, because there is no one to hold the law accountable. I can't even tell you how many people I hear from that I have friends that haven't seen their kids in years, all right? Years, you guys. And I'm sorry, at that point, once they're in the system, once they have your family, you can try and play the game a little bit to get them back. But once you do, get the heck out. I see people get their kids taken and they get them back and they send them right back into the public schools. They send them right back into the hands of the enemy. And I'm like, do we have no wisdom at all? It's like we keep making all the worst choices. And then we keep getting into trouble and saying, well, what do we do? Now, I'm not saying that you guys in here today are doing this. I'm just saying it's constant. And it's a different world down here in Mako. Police don't run around stealing people's kids out of their arms. That's a good way to get a beat down by the community. That would not be tolerated from police officers, or certainly not plainclothes little CPS women that think they're powerful. All right? In this country. That's not how it works down here. That's called kidnapping. But in the USA, the judges are blue ISIS, the police are blue ISIS, the CPS, they're all blue ISIS guys. They're the number one terrorists. And the people calling themselves patriots are defending everything they do and worshiping at their feet. All right? There's no freedom in the USA. And I don't see there being freedom until the USA is gone and maybe restored from the ashes, maybe not. The USA does not really have a future at this point, guys. At this point, I'm fighting for the freedom and justice of everybody, because I've fought in hopes of restoring the USA for years, and I've realized now that we're too selfish, hateful, godless, and divided by faction. The USA is already dead. It just hasn't burned completely to the ground yet. All right. And so now I'm saying, well, where can my people find freedom, right? Where can we find hope? What other places are there? There's not any that I know of that are perfect. Mako has its problems. But you can walk into this country and I don't worry about cops stealing my babies out of my arms. All right. That's not how it works. If a cop tried to do that down here, people would they would probably beat the crap out of him if he tried to take a woman's baby. I mean, so just keep speaking up, all right? Don't let the people that are sycophants for the USA and its police affect your message. Don't let people pretend that God is blessing America or that he's going to. What remains for America is judgment, and it's time that we realize that. We've murdered our people from the unborn to the aged. We've spit on every precept of liberty and justice. We've supported the most wicked terrorists who terrorize our own people and the entire world with their fake and illegal wars. And then we have the gall to wave a flag and say that it's Christian and patriotism to back these people. When in fact, if you're a believer in God, God says, you're an abomination to him if you back the tyrant. And that's what our country does. Our country, the USA, is the terrorists of the entire planet. Guys, we're the Nazis. We really are. Now, I'm not saying that it's terrible. It's a shame because we had so much potential. But the people let hate and fear and self take over. And the USA's gone. So in terms of your abuses, the prisons, get out of that country before you get put in prison, you guys. If they're coming for you, if they're trying to lock you away, you don't have to walk into a gas chamber. If you're dealing with CPS, I can tell you the best thing I know to do. I mean, I know lawyers that fight tooth and nail to try and get the CPS dealt with, but most of the time it doesn't work, guys. There is no law in the courts. So if you have enough money, you can fight. Sometimes just enough time goes by that you'll get a little bit of redress because they get bored of you. And I'm sorry for the people, but we did this to our country. We did this by ignoring the abuse of our neighbors, by ignoring the abuse of our fellow men, by continuing to vote for the lesser of two evils. This is our judgment that we brought on us. And I know that doesn't help those that are suffering that much, and I'm sorry, but what I can tell you, the best thing I know is to pick up your camera, concisely and simply tell your story and get it spread. And name names and talk about what's happening and show photos. And there's a lot of videos on this channel about me telling you like how to build narratives, right? How to communicate better. And you can find those on this channel. You've got to start being your own voice, because if we don't have voices, we don't have a message. All right. We brought it on ourselves. That doesn't mean we don't resist. It doesn't mean we don't stand up. It doesn't mean there's never ever any hope. It does mean we've got to pick up the pieces and speak out, and we have to understand, I think, if we're going to be realistic, that we may have to get out ourselves if we want to have any semblance of freedom, okay? So this has been long and random, and we talked about a whole bunch of stuff. We played a little music. We talked a little freedom, and we even dealt with a few trolls. So thank you all. I think I'm going to go maybe go on a little bike ride with the wife and fam, and see what we can do. Peace to all of you. God help us. I hope that you can get through. Those of you that are dealing with jails and the CPS and all this stuff. I feel bad. I really do. But I've fought tooth and nail for years, and almost no one showed up. All right, and I'll keep speaking out. I'll keep standing for the prisoner. But this is where we've put ourselves as a nation. Okay, so. Anyways, you can find me at callmegav.com. I try to respond to emails, but I can tell you that what I'm going to tell you is what I just told you in this video. That's what I've got. That's the only thing. The only thing, a bold message of truth is the only thing I've seen have an effect. And if you're not willing to step up and pick up your camera and speak out against the abuses of your family and your fellow man, there's very little that I know to do, because it's not like I have a solution. It's not like you can just go hire a lawyer and they'll fix it for you. The law is gone in the courts. So speak out, spread the word, share the videos here. Maybe not this one, it's kind of long and just random, but some of the other videos. Go to the channel. If you click on the channel here when we're done, you can see all kinds of videos. Remember, never let Blue ISIS tell you that they're here to protect your children. Blue ISIS and their friends are the #1 child traffickers in the USA. All right? So my prayers for all of you. And keep supporting those that are speaking out, and become those that speak out. I do have a video I think you guys will find interesting of me getting pulled over here in Mexico a week or so ago by the Mexico State Police. Okay, the state of Mexico, that is. So I'll try and do that one this week. We'll review that one. I think you guys will think that's interesting. Keep those messages. Keep writing those songs. I'll keep working on this one that seems to be working. I'll work on that one we started on today too, but it does need some work. I'm gonna have to play with it some more. But I think the Cross the Line song is could be pretty good, and I'm gonna try and wrap that one up and do a video for you guys on that. And check out the latest stuff on the channel if you haven't. And we'll try and keep doing some live streams if you enjoy this. Sunday afternoons are very slow. Most people are out doing other stuff, which is what I'm going to go do. I think I'm going to go get some coffee, maybe a taco, go for a little bike ride with mi family. Muy bien. Buenas tardes y buenas tardes. Enjoy. And don't walk into the gas chamber. All right. We'll clean up some of these trolls afterward too. I know the trolls are always here. They make counts, account. All right. Okay, guys. Take care.